Welcome on this podcast on coercive control movement and how the body leads us back home. Before me is Sietske Dijkstra, expert international and national on coercive control, also an expert on embodiment and tacit knowing. And also a guest on our show is Lila Nikol, psychologist, dance and movement therapist, women's rights advocate in European projects. Welcome, ladies, and please introduce this subject any further.
Yes, thank you, Kirsten from the FABRIEK. It's a fantastic opportunity to speak with you, Lily, more in detail about your fascinating work in which the body is so central. So could you please introduce yourself a little bit further and tell about your dance movement therapy? It's not a workshop we are aware of, but what is it and what is your background and what brought you to this coercive control theme?
First of all, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you at FABRIEK, and thanks, Fran and Kirsten. So my name is Lilia. I come originally from Bulgaria, and I have international experience in European projects writing, and in the last already 3.5 years in dance and movement therapy. I studied graduate master in dance and movement therapy in Barcelona, in the Autonomous University in Barcelona. And I'm happy to say that I was raised there with very big professionalism and a very cross-cultural and international group from all over the world. So I cherish this deeply, and I'm very happy I can bring this knowledge also in the Netherlands, and that Netherlands has opened the doors for me to bring the embodiment and dance and movement therapy work in shelters so that I could directly support women survivors of domestic abuse and coercive control. Now, I came to coercive control thanks to my partnership already for 4 years with Sietske. It's a pleasure to work with her. And we allied together 4 years ago on a European Union project. And we have designed it already for the last 4 years with 4 countries. It's on a very interdisciplinary basis. It involves Spain, Netherlands, Bulgaria, and Greece. And we are very excited to bring more knowledge and more awareness to professionals globally, but also support women as well on that journey that is also a very challenging journey.
Yes, beautiful. That's very well said and very well introduced. If we go to the title, Coercive Control Movement, how the body leads us back home. So why is this body so important? What we see maybe, we saw it also in the trauma treatment, although it has changed a lot, but that there was this split between the mind and the body, like the mind was superior about the body and the body was a kind of something, a byproduct, I would say. But why is it so important to address the body, and how come that the body could lead us away home?
Yeah, thank you for this question. It's really great to be asked this so that I can explain that when we started initially with my colleagues in Barcelona, all of us were a little bit skeptical, like, is this magic? Is this ancient rituals? Like, we were like, okay, how exactly are we going to heal people or to help integrate complex trauma? We're just, dancing. Of course, needless to say, this was in the beginning of our journey, and we needed to basically understand how exactly it happens. What I would like to say on that point is that we are every human being, first and foremost, movement. So the first language is not the verbal language, is not the linguistics. The first language of every baby is the movement. And that being said, that actually psychologists have long researched this, and it's well known that we record memories from pre-verbal stages already from the moment of conception and embryonal stage, and that is like something that pre and perinatal psychology works constantly with. And this is why when we tap into just the particular type of movement in a therapeutic holding, and with the right facilitation, we can actually help someone move through a particular trauma only via the body. Of course, that is a long process and really depends on the trauma that we have to process. But unfortunately, the split is still there that you mentioned between the body and the mind, this Cartesian split that we still, in a lot of professional settings, have to fight it, like to explain, okay, the dual approach of and providing talk therapy and combining it with embodiment exercises works much better. And also it's already proven that it shortens the whole process, the whole treatment process if we involve the body. So my hope for the future would be like that we would go more into that direction to integrating and bringing more the body in social care and psychological care.
Yes, beautiful. And we have a tradition also in the Netherlands, I think, that we translate these books like The Body Keeps the Score from Bessel van der Kolk is one of them. But we have in this this group of men's, they bring out these beautiful books where the body is far more central. And also, I think of the work of Pat Ogden. She is a dance therapist originally. And Janina Fischer, she is a psychologist. And they did also this groundbreaking work with trauma and the body. So it's very important. But I was thinking that you mentored skeptic first in your group in Barcelona. And this skepsis I have met also in the embodied learning, because sometimes people think, what should I then do? And is everybody watching my body? So to make that question to the groups you were leading, how was this with the women you were working or the groups? Did they also feel like, oh, do I want to go in? Or how we address it and how we create the safety to do so?
Yeah, lovely question. Certainly, it's very intimate to observe another human being moving, and that's one of the first things that actually they teach us, that it is so responsible also not to put your transference and your projection on the people you're working with, whether being in an individual session or in a group setting. Also, cultural projections form a large part of it, so we have to be very, very aware of it. But back to your question, Fran, definitely I saw every single time when I was working with women survivors in shelters, every single time, very big resistance to move. And of course, that is unfortunately because there is a lot of trauma, and the body and the psyche, we instinctively know that if we tap into the body, that is directly connecting to this trauma, even without talking. So we are going to feel it. And if the group doesn't trust me yet, if I haven't established the therapeutic container, if I haven't taken the necessary time so that they can trust me, they can say, okay, it's safe here, I can let my guard down, they will not move. And that being said, I never pushed for movement. So it took minimum like around 6 to 7 sessions till movement naturally start appearing, evolving, and we first involve with other activities. A lot of talking in the beginning, also rehashing the stories, which I find it's necessary. From the point of view of the women, they really, really need to get that out of the way first. Then they build the container. Okay, how I'm asking, how I'm answering, how I'm asking them. Am I empathic enough? Can I hold their stories? And also without any judgment, and be like, And judgment, without even saying anything, they will feel it. So then I am also very careful about this. But yes, we have to be very, very patient with that group, with anyone, but with that group in particular.
Yes, it's a beautiful description. And we recognize, I think, Kirsten and I both, from our work that it's so important to set a foundation of safety, because if you don't have that ground to stand on, you cannot show up in vulnerability, can you?
Exactly. Like if I show up like too hasty or potentially too judgmental, that then the group will close. They will either stop joining or find another excuse, and that would be their absolute right, and they will be right to not attend such a group. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So what were means you were using more? Because I had the pleasure to visit one time of and that was in the end already, I think, of your whole scheme of dance movement therapy. And there I saw that they also were making drawings, right? Mm-hmm. So can you tell a little bit more and take us with this dance movement therapy movement union? What happens exactly, and who are there, and how do you process?
Mm. Yes. So the project that we realized with Oranje House was a co-creation. So I wrote the program, which was for the sessions and all the thematic coverage. And then it was cross-checked between two universities, my university in Barcelona and the Pantheon University in Athens. And why Athens? Because I also involve Greek dances, Greek folk dances, and Zorbas in the dance movement therapy intervention with women, which I find to be really rewarding for them in recovering their agency and their ability to have that healthy inner masculine, that healthy animals that can actually, spread wings, kick back, and be empowered, and that being okay. So what we did was we first did 5 to 6 preliminary sessions in which the women could it was mainly in that point, mainly asking questions, mainly to get to see me. There was not so much dance therapy session per se, as it's meant to be conducted. And then once they gradually established trust and they had all their questions answered, we also distributed the schedule and they signed up. So we did a closed group afterwards. And the closed group was for 10 sessions. And as per how the sessions go, the golden standard, so to say, is that we always start with a check-in. We work in a circle on the ground. And of course, I always like to mention that nothing is mandatory, and they have full right and full control. And especially with people who are survivors of coercive control and gender-based violence, this is super important to give them back that power, that agency, and that they can start choosing, which was really reflected at the end of the program, that they were much more owning that side of them. And then after this small check-in, which they are allowed to leave the room at any point or not say anything at all, I get a sense of the group and of what they're bringing at the moment. And generally, they were bringing a lot of topics. The thing was that they didn't want to move. So how I went out of forward and went through this problem was that I said, okay, you're choosing here. It's your space. And I gave them always options, or even like they could suggest something totally different. And they always ended up wanting to draw. And I say, okay, I was always having the paper and the colors. And they really enjoyed that. They immersed into it. And it was almost like you see their inner girls coming back to life, and a lot of memories popping up. And they always were drawing these very great positive symbols, with some exceptions, of course, but mainly hearts, flowers, blooming trees. And it was almost like, a desire to get back to that part, and also to that inner blooming or identity that they had from before the traumatic relationship. And gradually, after, let's say we're talking about already 5 to 6 sessions like this, I started introducing movement, but in a very, very slow way. So we first started with a small warm-up on the ground, nothing too big, nothing too complicated. I was also supervised by my professors, and I'm super grateful for that, because otherwise I could have easily gone ahead of myself and like project or like speed up. And when it's like everything has to be really measured. So we started with this, reincorporating the body from sitting to verticality, which also is the posture is reflected a lot to being able to own your identity. Then we worked with grounding, yoga poses, balancing, and only after this we progressed to 1 or 2 dances, not more. And we explored a lot of opposites as well. It was very necessary in the beginning, especially for postural work, to work with the aggression. And somehow you cannot, because there is in violence a lot of aggression that they've experienced, but also in some cases reverse aggression that stays in them and that can be projected on other people, on children. And they also feel guilty for it and shaming themselves for it. And I find it really very important to address this. You cannot go around it. I mean, you cannot cover it up and camouflage it, sugarcoat it. So to do that, we did a lot of sharp moves. We did a belly dance. We did sharp moves with the hips, with the hands. We did saying no. We did putting boundaries. We worked belly dance. We worked with belly dance words also. So also to kind of symbolically cut off what was before, or what is there ready to release. And after that only, we could go back to the restored softness and vulnerability. Then we switched to the opposite of like using scarves, more gentle, more flow move. And only towards the end, we could actually do the whole Zorba dance, which is like famous with this. It's called Ego's posture of the iconic character of Nikos Kazantzaki's Zorbas, when he danced it. It's this ego's posture that helps them actually like feel more healthy aggression and reconnect to that and be allowed to experience it, because a lot of them were saying, yeah, I've always been told to take care of everyone and to be the good girl, and that's what I hear time and time again when I work with these women, like this social conditioning that is like, yeah, telling not only them, all of us women, that yeah, be a good girl, you should take care of everyone, and then somehow along the process you forget about you. But then that's what I love about dance therapy, that it's actually bringing you fully on and in a safe place and with your body, so that you can remember about you and who you are.
Yes, beautiful. So remember who you were and who you are, and reintegration. And it's beautiful to hear you give this more detailed description, because it was also confidential because of the vulnerability. So there were not a lot of people who were also there except for you and the women. And
Yes.
you did this, I think, so careful. And I saw them also when they were in the end of the process, and they were so happy, and they were flourishing, I must say, that meeting. So what are the key points? Have you also followed these women? So what did they say in the end? Why is this such a wise way of dealing from our bodies to go to reintegration?
Yeah, listening to them in the focus group and the individual recap conversations that I did after the program with them, they did enjoy. Not even one said, well, I enjoyed sitting there and talking endlessly about what happened. They always pointed several type of dances that were their favorite one, or embodiment exercises. And the favorites were laying with your feet up on the wall, feeling your belly, the Zorba dances that gave them a lot of empowerment. And of course, also being listened to and being okay to bring stories about, very, very heartbreaking things. Also seeing your own aggression and unhealthy patterns and being okay with it. So I do think it's like, that's one of the key points in what works in the program. And as to like what can be probably bettered or improved, maybe I would say bringing more interdisciplinary work to shelters and to protected houses, because I do think this is so needed, and especially with so many experts still not knowing enough for coercive control or not practicing enough embodiment and enough dance and movement therapy or body psychotherapy. This is really needed, because with only just doing financial training for these women or career training or helping them with legal issues, that's great. That should be there definitely from day one. But only with this and talk therapy, we don't get so far.
Yes, I think you're making a very important point that this interdisciplinary work is sometimes undervalued or not there. So I'm also curious, kind of with the back of my mind, I see you focused on these women survivors. And what did the professionals around it learn from it? Were they curious too? Because they are a kind of hidden group, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I did send with a lot of love and enthusiasm my final thesis work to Oranje House. They were like looking at it, and I would hope that they would probably consider involving more experts in the future, because Oranje House is huge, and it's not only Oranje House, there are many other shelters in the Netherlands as well. So I would only want to be positive and hopeful that they would consider, because the results were actually very much in favor after this scientific investigation that we did, very much in favor of dance therapy, because we proved with psychological tests, also with the qualitative and quantitative. It was a mixed research that there were quite a lot of positive results from this intervention and increased self-esteem. So that is something that deserves more attention, maybe replication with a larger sample.
Yeah, I would be very curious to see those results as well on different places and on a larger scale of groups. I can imagine this to be really complementary, but also very maybe just the essential switch for those women for structural changes in their lives. And for structure embodying the sense of agency, which they lacked for such a long time. And also within the shelter, of course, they lack a lot of agency as well, which is different than you're living not in a sheltered community. So, I'm really curious.
Yes, that's a beautiful addition, Kirsten. And that's also, I think, this international project could bring, right?
Exactly.
That you would have an experimental basis in different countries, in different situations, to see where it brings you. Yes. So this body-mind split might also be present, and it might also be present in kind of ideas about how to perform or what to hide. Huh? So is there a final say, Lily, about coming from your experiences and this idea to experiment on a larger scale and to embed this more? What should we need to embed this more in practice?
I would say, speaking about shelters, what I would love to see more is giving back the agency to women, which works quite well with embodiment that you also do, Fran, and also with dance and movement therapy. but also starting to remap the narrative and start seeing them as actually much more powerful and empowered than we see them.
Wow.
And I every time love to tell them I admire your courage and what you've achieved, and that you've managed to escape, and that you're here, and you should take great pride of yourself. So I would wish to see more of that awareness in experts who work in the shelters, that actually this is not just someone who is incapacitated and we have to help put back on their feet, because they went already from massive trauma and a massive challenge which they broke through, and I think we should give them the credit for it, so to speak. And also, like you also touched in our previous conversation, Fran, about not boxing and these women, not boxing the survivors in a small matchbox of like, okay, now we act like this, and this is the structured session that we're going to have, and these are the questions, and then it's done. That it's not possible, because a session can go anywhere. And I've had many cases where I had a particular program, an idea for the themes I want to work in the session, and it goes totally the other direction, and I make the conscious choice, no, like this is super important, so I'm going to follow what pops up, and I changed completely the whole session. So I think it should be also more openness to listen to them, first respecting them, seeing them as not infantilize them, but seeing them as giving them all the credit, listen to them, and being open to follow their process, because it's recovery takes long time, and it's not their fault that it takes long time. It's normal that it takes long time. So I think we should be more conscious about it and remind ourselves about our urgency to deal with the issue, and just go and hope, here we go, it's fixed, let's go to the next case. And so speed is very dangerous in that case, can be even damaging and counterproductive. And also this addiction that we have to perfection, to positivity, that can end up being very toxic and re-traumatize and re-victimize these women, because we cannot expect that they are way too positive way too soon. Yeah.
What do you mean? What's toxic about this positivity?
I would say the fact that if it is good to be positive, but if it's expected too soon, or if it's enforced without that we work with the real trauma underneath, or the understanding of the woman, that actually this is what she went through, which is what also Fran does amazingly in her work with coercive control, is like, we first need to tackle other beasts before we get to projecting on them. Okay, anyway, like I said, get up, dust yourself off, and just go. Yeah.
Also the how do you say it in English? Ellende, the bad things, the devastating things. They must be also able to show before. Sometimes there's room for positivity.
Yeah, exactly. If we don't make that room, they go further carrying these emotions in the body, this aggression. It can, like I said, in some cases be projected on children or on next partners or someone else. It can be in the work, or it can be autoaggression. And in that case, we do see a lot of cases where there's fibromyalgia developed afterwards. And there is of course, it's not confirmed that fibromyalgia is a direct result from abuse, but it's related to stress, and stress is related to abuse. So it can breed into further violence, or further transgenerational violence, or very, very poor physical and mental health of these women on top of the abuse that they experienced. Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful. So you're giving a plea for an embodied practice. And I think it's very important also for shelters who are listening to kind of rethink this subject, because if we leave it out, and sometimes our practice is rather disembodied, we leave out this whole area of lived experience in the body, which was once very frightened or very angry or insulted or wants to destroy something in the outside world because it feels so enraged about everything which happened. And what I also like about your telling about it is that there's a lot of joy and pleasure and community building, in fact. Yeah. So it's also kind of reunion, not only with your own body and your own self and your history, but also in the community.
Definitely, and I always see, and there's a lot of support between these women when I enter in a shelter, and then after several sessions, or sometimes even the first session, that they see each other and they work together in dance and movement therapy. And there was this like very lively communication between them. Oh, which room are you in? Oh, let's sign up to go to fitness together, or let's go out sometime. And I am always amazed when I see it. And also about the flourishing, they are, in some cases, completely different people after the end of the program. It's amazing time and time again when I see it. And also they value this work a lot. And I've had from my first group women who completed it till the end, and they found out after that I've graduated. They called me. They were like so happy. I was like, wow, yes. Well, that is the biggest reward. Like if nothing else, if I get this call and congratulations, like wow, then it's good.
Yes. So they were bonding, and they are also bonding with each other, and they create new networks and new possibilities from out their body within. So that's beautiful. I think that this was really insightful. Thank you, Lilia, for taking us to the dance floor with the survivor women.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this chance to bring a little bit more of that profession to the world. And I hope more people get to learn about it and its possibilities.
Thank you very much.
Leuk dat je erbij was. Laat je ons weten wat je ervan vond via onze website www.fabriek69.nl. En tot de volgende podcast maar weer.